Randy Jansen grew up in the small Canadian town of Langley. For more than 10 years, he worked in a sawmill with his father, and in his spare time, he devoted his free time to his favorite pastime, music. One day, Randy performed as a soloist at a concert in one of the local bars. It was there that he met his future wife, Laurel. She was 6 years older than him, worked as a bartender, and was just as passionate about music. In 1990, they got married. A few years later, they had a daughter, Emily. Randy was insanely happy. About his daughter, he said with delight, "My girl is the best in the world. I don't know how we lived without her before." Emily, from an early age, discovered an amazing talent for music. She dreamed of becoming a singer. Emily took vocal lessons at a children's studio and excelled. Randy was proud of his daughter and applauded her the loudest. However, when Emily went to elementary school, she started having bouts of severe headaches. Her parents tried to treat her, but nothing worked. For several months, her parents took their daughter to different specialists, underwent many examinations until they finally diagnosed her with migraine. Emily had to be homeschooled and left music. This led to depression. Her room, formerly filled with music, fell into silence and darkness because the lights and extraneous sounds made the headaches worse. Laurel and Randy alternated duty at their daughter's bedside. Tending to her, their little girl lay motionless day after day. The parents felt deeply depressed about not being able to help their child. The doctor's prognosis was disappointing. Migraine is difficult to treat. About 53% of migraine sufferers cannot drive, 30% have difficulty with education, and 34% have limited employment opportunities. Statistically, women are 3 times more likely to suffer from migraines than men. Because of the powerful medications, Emily felt lethargic, drowsy, and weak. She tried to do without medication. Even after time, she learned to live with this excruciating pain. Emily eventually resumed her studies, enrolling at the University of British Columbia in the Faculty of Arts. Her dream was to pursue a career as an opera singer. However, by the age of 18, her condition worsened. Her migraine attacks lasted longer, and the pain became even more unbearable. Despite this, Emily tried to live a full life and pursue what she loved most: music. She socialized with friends. The girl's father admitted that she was his whole life. "If she suddenly leaves, I will leave after her. I just cannot live without her. It is unbearable to watch her suffer," said Randy. His friends will never forget his words, nor will the post that Randy published on Facebook on May 7, 2015. The post read, "In the last 10 days, I have done the worst thing imaginable. The first is what I did to my darling daughter, Emily. The best little girl a parent could ever dream of. She was incredibly talented, smart, and filled our hearts with her laughter. She was always there for us and helped us even when she wasn't feeling well." Emily longed for life, but migraines were slowly taking away her ability to enjoy it. My girl had been plagued by headaches since elementary school. The pain she experienced every day drove Emily into a deep depression. No one can know the true suffering she went through on a daily basis. She saw her classmates enjoying life while she herself was forced to spend most of her time in the hospital or in bed. There were days when my daughter agonized every second, all day long without respite. Yet, over the years, she has shown incredible strength and resilience, fighting through this unbearable pain, trying to look forward. She said, "When I feel better, I will do this and that." She tried every possible remedy to get rid of the migraine, but nothing worked. So I took a shotgun and shot her in the head. Now she's free of pain. She is free of the migraine and floating somewhere in the clouds on this sunny day. Her long, beautiful hair fluttering in the wind. She's a true angel. Then I shot my wife, Laurel. I did it because no mother should know of the death of her child. A few days later, I took my sister's life in Shell because I didn't want her to live with the shame of what her brother had done. Now my family is in heaven, and they are no longer in pain. I am very sorry for my actions and feel like a lowlife. I take full responsibility for my actions. I am guilty of these crimes. I am very sorry for everyone I have wronged. Rest in peace, my little family." According to Randy's friend, Brian Jones, he felt sick to his stomach after reading this post. I couldn't believe Randy had written it. When I realized it was really him who wrote it, I was shocked. Randy is a good man. he would never hurt anyone. I didn't even know he had a gun. He loved his family so much. Emily was the meaning of his life. Brian Jones excused himself from work and drove to Randy's sister's house. On the way, he tried to call his friend, but no one answered. After Shelley's parents died, her sister lived alone. She had no children. Her life was quiet and withdrawn, and she made a living by delivering newspapers in her van. As Brian pulled up to the house, he noticed a stack of newspapers on the porch and the van parked. He knocked on the door, but no one answered. That's when he called the police. The officer on duty informed him that this was not the first call after that post. Several friends and acquaintances of the Jensen family also called the police. Shelley was found on the living room floor. Her brother had shot her twice in the head and had carefully covered the woman's body with a blanket. The tragic events unfolded with lightning speed. Experts determined that Laurel's death occurred 2 days before her body was discovered. At the same time, on the other side of town, police officers were engaged in a difficult operation to convince Randy Jensen to surrender. They saw him in one of the second-floor windows of his home and tried to persuade him to come out, but he did not respond to their pleas, nor did he answer his cell phone. 4 hours into the operation, Randy blew up his house. Seeing flames erupting, police officers tried to enter the building, but the flames spread at an incredible rate, forcing them to retreat. They saw a body wrapped in a sheet on the first floor, but were unable to fully assess the situation due to the rapid growth of the fire. The house was destroyed beyond recognition. For 3 days, it was unsafe to even approach the building. On May 10th, police officers were finally able to get inside the destroyed house and discovered the bodies of Emily, Laurel, and Randy Jensen. Both women had been killed by 2 gunshots to the head. This happened 10 days before Randy Jensen set fire to his home and took his own life. The investigation revealed that Randy had never seen a psychologist or psychiatrist. A year ago, he complained to his family doctor about insomnia and stress over his daughter Emily, who suffered from severe headaches. He couldn't help her. According to Randy Jensen's friends and co-workers, he was a kind man who in an instant was seized by despair. Emily was so sick, she needed morphine shots. This cruelty is not like Randy. Everything he did out of desperation, neighbors said. The tale of the Jensen family is a heartbreaking story full of pain and despair. Randy used to say, "If she leaves, I have nothing to live for." But still, he took the time to follow his daughter after spending 10 days in the house with his wife and daughter murdered. In remembering the Jensen family, acquaintances note their togetherness and concern for each other. They were always friendly and welcoming. Randy worked 33 years at the same place, was excellent at his job, took great care of his family, adored his daughter, and was proud of her. Emily was a kind and smiling young woman. She often sang at the local church, but in recent months, due to her health, she was rarely seen there. Emily devoted all her time to her parents. She loved to cook, treat her neighbors, and befriended them. Her mother, Laurel, was also a very good, kind woman. She once tweeted, "It is so painful to watch the constant torment of a loved one. Emily is in the hospital again, praying to God that she gets help, feeling helpless." Emily's tweet also included occasional posts about her pain, but also her hopes for recovery. For example, "For the first time in the last 2 years, I am pain-free for 12 whole hours straight. I am so tired of the pain, but need to move on." Neither Laurel, Emily, nor Shelley were going to pass away in the way Randy had chosen for them. It somehow didn't occur to him to see a therapist when he felt they weren't coping. It probably wouldn't have helped, but he hadn't even tried. 4 days before this terrible event, 19-year-old Emily left a final note on her Twitter. "I complain about the pain, but at least I'm here to feel it, and I thank God that I live." Such is the sad and tragic story of the Jensen family. The story of the Jensen family is a tragedy that has made one think about many things. Undoubtedly, the family suffered from the daughter's terminal illness and the mother's pain. But Randy chose a path full of violence and death. This leads to reflections on the importance of seeking help from professionals in difficult situations, talking about your feelings, and not leaving problems unaddressed. The story of the Jensen family reminds us of the value of life, love, and support for each other.